Good morning. Today is Monday. Ever since I read the book Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell, I've had this desire to live each day intentionally. At one point, I actually did sort of a mental timeline of my life up to that point and examined these periods where I felt like I had been really successful at living intentionally. I'd set goals for myself. I'd planned and scheduled and worked really hard to accomplish those goals. I'd added value to other people in the process, as opposed to times when I'd fallen short of intentional living. I hadn't done such a fine job. What I discovered was that the times when I didn't do well were all periods where there was something going on in my life that was out of my control. One of those periods was when my son PJ was burned in a fire and ended up being hospitalized for 9 months, over 2 hours away from our home. It was a really difficult situation. There were so many things that we could not control. We couldn't control whether or not PJ lived or died. We couldn't control how quickly he healed. We couldn't control when he would come home from the hospital. It wasn't up to us. What happened was we were so focused on our desire to control what we couldn't that we gave up control of the things we could. There were things that we could have controlled during that time, like our eating habits and how well we took care of ourselves. But we gave up that control because we were so desperate for control of what we couldn't. It was a really rough patch, and I started to realize that that was a common thing. It made me understand that there's a connection between control and intentional living. In his book, Life, the Truth, and Being Free, Steve Maraboli wrote, "Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't." We were so busy craving control over what we couldn't control that we gave up control of what we could. So part of intentional living is to be able to compartmentalize and control the things you can control and give up control of the things you can't. Give it to God. Have a wonderful Monday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.